True respect is never begged for. It is quietly earned through consistency, controlled strength, and the ability to stand firm when situations demand difficult and unpopular decisions. A man who controls his emotions appears powerful because emotional discipline signals self-mastery, and the world instinctively respects those who cannot be easily provoked or shaken. Speaking less and acting more builds authority over time because people trust actions more than promises, and silence often magnifies the impact of decisive behavior. Indecision weakens respect, as hesitation during critical moments reveals uncertainty, and uncertainty makes others question a man's ability to lead or protect his position. Constant kindness without boundaries invites exploitation, because respect is built on strength first, and compassion only holds value when supported by the ability to enforce limits. Understanding self-interest is not selfishness, but survival, because a man who neglects his own position eventually loses value in the eyes of others. Confidence should be calm and restrained, as loud confidence resembles insecurity, while quiet assurance naturally commands attention without demanding approval. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent is power, because silence forces others to reveal themselves while preserving a man's control over the situation. People admire results, not intentions, so respect grows when a man consistently delivers outcomes rather than explaining what he plans to do someday. Mercy becomes meaningful only when strength exists beneath it, because mercy without power is mistaken for weakness and invites repeated disrespect. Not every smile signals loyalty, so a man must observe patterns, not words, because blind trust often becomes the reason strong men fall unexpectedly. Principles protect respect, as a man without clear rules becomes predictable and easily manipulated by those who understand his weaknesses. A man's true character emerges during pressure, because stability in difficult moments separates leaders from followers and earns lasting admiration. Self-reliance strengthens respect, since dependence reduces authority, and a man who can stand alone appears capable of handling responsibility. A powerful presence needs no explanation, because when confidence, discipline, and purpose align, a man commands respect before he even speaks. Respect grows when a man remains unpredictable, because predictability allows others to plan against him, while uncertainty keeps his position protected and his influence intact. A man must appear reliable, yet never fully transparent, because complete openness exposes weaknesses that the world is always ready to exploit. Fear is often a stronger foundation than affection, because loyalty born from fear lasts longer than loyalty built purely on emotion. Reputation must be guarded carefully, since one careless action can erase years of discipline, and the world judges faster than it forgives. A man should avoid unnecessary conflicts, but when conflict is unavoidable, he must act decisively so resistance is crushed before it grows stronger. Dependence on popularity weakens authority, because respect fades when decisions are shaped by approval rather than long-term advantage. Strength lies in adaptability, as rigid men break under pressure while flexible minds survive changing power dynamics. A wise man learns from others' mistakes, because personal experience is costly, and observation offers lessons without sacrifice. Control over oneself creates control over circumstances, since chaos inside eventually manifests as disorder in the external world. Timing matters more than speed, because acting too early or too late both destroy impact and reduce perceived intelligence. A man should reward loyalty openly, because visible rewards encourage allegiance and remind others that commitment is always noticed. Punishment must be swift and final, because delayed consequences invite repeated challenges and weaken authority. A leader should never appear desperate, because neediness transfers power to others and lowers perceived value instantly. Distance preserves respect, as excessive familiarity removes mystery and reduces the natural authority a man must maintain. In the end, respect follows those who shape their own path, because men who are not controlled by others are feared, followed, and remembered. Power is protected through perception, because people respond not to truth, but to what they believe, and belief is shaped by repeated impressions rather than explanations. A man should never reveal his full strength, because hidden capability keeps rivals cautious and prevents premature challenges to his authority. Appearing calm during chaos builds dominance, as emotional stability signals control and reassures observers that leadership remains intact under pressure. Generosity must be strategic, because uncontrolled giving creates entitlement, while measured rewards reinforce hierarchy and discipline. A respected man accepts isolation, because leadership separates him from comfort and forces decisions that others are unwilling to make. Promises should be few and carefully chosen, because breaking one damages credibility more than never making it at all. A man must master the art of waiting, as patience allows opportunities to reveal themselves, while impulsive action often destroys advantage. Respect is sustained by consistency, because unpredictable behavior and values creates doubt and weakens long-term authority. An intelligent man prepares for worst outcomes, because foresight prevents panic and preserves control when circumstances turn hostile. Victory should appear effortless, as struggle invites imitation, while smooth success reinforces superiority and discourages opposition. A man should allow others to believe they contributed, because shared credit reduces resentment and strengthens loyalty. Avoid appearing overly virtuous, because excessive morality invites suspicion and limits strategic flexibility in a world driven by power. Control information carefully, as knowledge shapes decisions, and selective silence often offers greater protection than full disclosure. A respected man does not chase recognition, because attention follows strength naturally, and forced visibility weakens perceived value. Legacy is built through influence, not popularity, because men who shape outcomes are remembered long after applause fades. A man must understand human nature, because people are driven by self-interest first, and ignoring this reality leads to misplaced trust and unnecessary disappointment. Respect increases when a man controls access to himself, as limited availability raises perceived value and prevents others from taking his presence for granted. Public image should be shaped intentionally, because allowing others to define it invites distortion and weakens authority over time. A man should never argue emotionally, since logic maintains dominance, while emotion hands control to the opponent. Trust must be earned gradually, because rapid trust exposes weaknesses before loyalty has been proven through consistent behavior. A respected man chooses battles carefully, understanding that not every victory is worth the cost of reputation or long-term positioning. Preparation creates confidence, because readiness eliminates fear and allows calm decision-making when pressure arrives unexpectedly. A man should never depend on luck, as luck is unstable, while strategy provides control regardless of circumstances. Respect is reinforced through boundaries, because people treat you according to what you allow, not what you request. A man must accept responsibility publicly, because accountability strengthens credibility and removes opportunities for others to question his leadership. Strategic silence frustrates manipulation, as unanswered questions often reveal intentions others try to hide. A respected man keeps his private life guarded, because excessive exposure reduces mystery and invites unnecessary judgment. Authority grows when decisions are final, since constant reversals signal weakness and encourage challenges from others. A man should remain adaptable without appearing uncertain, balancing flexibility with firmness to maintain control. In the end, respect belongs to men who shape their reality, not those who wait for permission or approval from the world. A man must accept that respect is rarely fair, because the world rewards effectiveness over intention and strength over excuses, regardless of moral comfort. Consistency in behavior creates trust, because people rely on patterns, and a man who acts predictably in values earns long-term credibility. A respected man understands sacrifice, knowing that comfort must often be exchanged for influence, growth, and lasting authority. Control over reactions is greater than control over people, because mastery of the self eliminates vulnerability others attempt to exploit. A man should never explain himself excessively, since explanations signal doubt and confidence requires no justification. Respect survives when discipline becomes routine, because habits shape character long before moments of public recognition arrive. A man must separate emotions from strategy, as emotional decisions satisfy the moment but damage power and positioning over time. True authority does not seek validation, because approval follows strength, not the other way around. A respected man prepares successors, because influence that outlives the individual proves true power. In the end, a man is respected not for what he claims, but for what he consistently enforces, protects, and embodies through action. A man must accept that respect is not distributed equally or fairly. The world rewards effectiveness over intention, results over excuses, and strength over comfort. Regardless of how just or moral one believes himself to be, consistency is the quiet architect of respect. When actions align with values repeatedly over time, people develop certainty. Certainty builds trust, and trust, when paired with strength, creates authority that does not need constant reinforcement. True respect demands sacrifice. Comfort, ease, and popularity are often exchanged for long-term influence. A man unwilling to sacrifice short-term pleasure will always remain dependent on circumstances rather than commanding them. Self-control outweighs control over others. A man who governs his reactions removes the easiest weapon others use against him. Emotional restraint preserves clarity, and clarity allows power to be exercised without unnecessary loss. Excessive explanation weakens authority. A man who constantly justifies himself appears unsure. Confidence speaks through decisiveness and silence, allowing outcomes, not words, to communicate certainty and strength. Discipline must become routine, not performance. When discipline is visible only during observation, it fades quickly. When it becomes habit, it shapes identity and ensures stability regardless of environment or pressure. Separating emotion from strategy is essential. Emotional decisions satisfy immediate urges, but damage long-term positioning. Strategic thinking demands patience, calculation, and the willingness to delay gratification for greater outcomes. True authority never seeks validation. Approval follows strength naturally, but chasing approval reverses power dynamics. A respected man moves forward regardless of applause, trusting results to speak louder than recognition. A man's influence is proven by what survives without him. Preparing successors and systems ensures authority extends beyond presence. Legacy, not control, defines the highest form of power. Respect grows when boundaries are enforced consistently. Flexibility in values confuses observers, while firmness creates predictability. People test limits instinctively, and respect belongs to those who respond without hesitation or apology. A respected man accepts solitude. Leadership separates him from comfort and consensus. Decisions made alone often protect many, and the willingness to stand isolated reinforces the perception of inner strength. Reputation must be guarded relentlessly. Years of discipline can be undone by one careless moment. The world remembers failure longer than effort, making restraint a constant requirement for sustained respect. A man must master patience. Waiting strategically allows others to reveal intentions while preserving advantage. Impulsive action may feel powerful, but patience compounds strength quietly over time. Power should appear effortless. Visible struggle invites imitation and challenge, while smooth execution discourages resistance. Effort concealed behind calm strengthens dominance without confrontation. Sharing credit strategically reduces resentment. Allowing others to feel involved strengthens loyalty while preserving authority. Respect grows when people believe they contribute, even when direction remains firmly controlled. Excessive virtue creates vulnerability. Moral rigidity limits adaptability and invites manipulation. A respected man understands ethics without being imprisoned by appearances of perfection. Information must be controlled carefully. What is revealed shapes perception, and what is withheld preserves leverage. Silence is often more powerful than disclosure in maintaining authority. A man should never rush recognition. Visibility pursued too eagerly signals insecurity. True respect follows impact naturally, arriving without being summoned. Consistency during pressure defines character. Stability in crisis separates leaders from followers. When chaos reveals others, composure establishes authority. In the end, a man is respected not for what he claims, but for what he consistently enforces, protects, and embodies through disciplined action over time.